Hello and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac podcast. I am Richie, and with me as always I have my cohort in crime, Farley. Say hello, Farley.
Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, cool. And yeah, so we are a podcast and we talk about games for the same 3 or 4 games over and over. And we are today going to talk about the N64. But before we even go there, we need to tell you a little bit more about where we can be found. So I'm going to hand over to my lovely cohort in crime again. Farley, tell us where we can be found.
If you're enjoying this chilled out vibe to the That Guy's a Maniac podcast, not the podcast, you can find more of our stuff pretty much here and there and everywhere at That Guy's a Maniac. You can find us on the Twitters, you can find us on the Instagrams, you can find us on the YouTubes, you can find us on the Facebook. And we're just, cutting the rug, talking about our favourite 3 games. That's That Guy's a Maniac. For all your WoW, Pokemon and Resident Evil Stone Cold takes.
Stone Cold. It's cool takes.
Cool ice cold takes on extremely popular video games.
Yeah, it's not like we've carved out a niche in any fashion.
No. I think the only unique angle that we bring here at That Guy's the vibes is just being 20 years behind.
Oh god. yeah, you're 20 years behind. And what sort of a sponsor would sponsor us in our endeavours for this chilled out super cool podcast?
Hey, we may sound laid back, we may sound like it's all go with the flow, but we've got a smooth operation going down at That Guy's a Maniac podcast. And that can't happen with some money behind the scenes. So this week's podcast, Richie, thanks for asking, is sponsored by Drebin. Drebin is a huge network of underground gun launderers who replace ID chips in guns so they can be used by anyone. That's this week's sponsor, Richie, Drebin.
Cheers, Drebin.
Thanks, Drebin.
We couldn't, I don't know, put guns up our bums without you.
For all your gun laundering needs,
Exactly.
Drebin.
Right. I don't know if I can keep up this chilled.
I'm going to fall asleep.
It's also it's borderline creepy as well. Well, at least, no offense, but hearing you, it's kind of like, yeah, just come into the van. Yeah, it's chill.
Drebin, I don't even know much about Drebin from Metal Gear Solid, but he does have a van and he does invite Snake into it.
Oh, right, okay.
He also has a smoking, fizzy pop drinking monkey in his van.
It's a weird series, that one, because from the outset, you just see this. It's going to be a mercenary crawling about. And then when you actually play it, it's just batshit crazy anime, but looks like it's, Splinter Cell or something.
Yeah. There's a lot to dislike about the Metal Gear series. Part of it being that, it's so po-faced, and in particular 4, I think, was very famous for these just ridiculously long cutscenes where they're talking about NGOs and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and then at the other end, you've got a photo mode with these sexy ladies based on body captures from real models, where they're kind of moaning and rolling around on the floor. And everything in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking soda pop, swilling monkeys.
Smoking soda pop. I am at the age now where I say soda pop. I couldn't honestly tell you what the non-old man word for it ever was.
Oh my god. Neither can I.
That's it.
I think you name it by the brand. You don't call it like soda. You don't call it fizz. You don't call it pop. You just say
fizzy pop.
No, you just call it Coke, or you call it Fanta, or you call it Tango. You don't.
But I can't remember the made-up brand of fizzy pop that the monkey drinks.
Yeah. Carbonated beverage you could probably get away with.
Oh no, that sounds like some.
It's less. Oh, yeah, but it sounds less old manny than soda pop.
I'm googling Drebin soda pop monkey.
It's gonna be like. It's not even gonna be a known brand. It's gonna be like Coca-Cola or something stupid like that.
No, he drinks Narc soda.
Narc. Okay.
There's the whole MGS wiki page about Narc soda.
Yeah. Please don't read it. That is not good listening material. Oh, you're skimming it. Stop skimming it.
It was named after a drug from the game Police Noughts, which was itself derived from the drug Nuke from RoboCop 2.
Okay.
Yeah?
So, you could go full circle in this and think of Fallout's Nuka-Cola as well.
Yeah, but that's not really related.
It's not related, it's not. When I said full circle, I immediately realised, no, there's no loop that this closes. No, this is just a weird
line,
7 degrees
bumpy line.
Kevin Bacon link.
It's like a semicircle with a line that just kind of goes off.
Yeah. The Richie line.
Yeah.
The tangent.
Looks like that constellation, the bear. Big bear, little bear, the one that looks like a saucepan.
Ursa Minor and Ursa Major.
Yeah, they don't both
Dipper.
look like a saucepan, do they? The Big Dipper.
Yeah. Big Dipper is Ursa Major. No, it's not. It says, no, it's not. Not worth Googling. Let's move on. Nobody cares. There's probably one person who's listening to this and they're like, yeah, the Big Dipper is Ursa Minor. What's wrong with you guys?
Just say the plough.
The plough, yeah. Or the Big Dipper.
Right.
Wow.
Sponsor out the way.
Yeah.
Any announcements this week? Actually, I have an announcement.
All right. Yeah. Good. In fact, you have homework as well, don't you?
Did I?
I feel like you did.
Just check the actions from the last meeting.
Oh my god. I'm glad we prepared this.
I've written down the word homework and then circled it.
Good. So you've got all the deets that you need for this homework, yeah?
Implying that there was homework.
Good.
However, it doesn't really elucidate the nature of that homework.
On the upside, I was right, which very rarely happens. So I'm gonna be happy that there is homework. So I think your homework for next week is to listen to last week's podcast and find out what your homework was.
Getting a bit meta this homework. I'm gonna
write down. It's gonna get more and more
write down
meta.
the homework, not just the word homework.
Yeah.
What was my homework?
Right. Okay. But you also have an announcement. Go announcements.
I do have an announcement. So before we move on to the main meat of this episode, which is discussing the Nintendo 64 console and its games that we played, some real obscure gems, I'm sure, that we'll talk about. I'd just like to announce that I am not planning to buy the new Resident Evil game.
The Resident Evil 7 Village.
The Village, yeah.
Okay. Are you going to... No, right. Okay, why? Okay, just why?
I don't know, because I think the two remake and 3 kind of pulled us both back onto the Resident Evil train a bit. I was really excited for those, both, played them at launch day. Absolutely loved them. I got a lovely birthday present from Richie related to Resident Evil 2. I'm just not particularly grabbed by this one. I'm sure I will pick it up at some point.
Yeah, let's just quickly pause on this because you played Resident Evil 7, right?
Yes.
And you were the person you enjoyed Resident Evil 7.
Yes, I did. I was that.
Yeah, but this game is basically the sequel to Resident Evil 7, but is bringing Leon back. I feel like you're gonna like this game. I don't understand why you're not interested in it.
Yeah, I'm just not. Something about it, you got the big
vampire lady. Yeah.
You've got Chris in a big coat, but yeah, just I undoubtedly will pick it up and play it. Yeah. But yeah, just not got that burning desire this time around.
I don't know. I feel like that's a game that you will pick up and you'll be like, you know what, I should have played this, and I like it. I think it's silly that you're not wanting to play it without sounding too condescending.
Well,
I think you're being silly, Farley.
Well, given it's Capcom, give it 3 weeks and it'll be $9.99 anyway. But I know. I did the same with the last Resident Evil 7. Was that 7? 6? 7.
7. Yeah.
I didn't play it when it came out. Played this kind of short little demo. Then kind of ruined it by watching Let's Plays of large sections of it. Then finally picked it up when it was, £2.50. And then had that moment where, as I was playing it, and after every session, like jumping online to find, 7-year-old forum posts of people who had just started playing it because it's really good and I want to talk to somebody about it, but whatever. But a 6-year-old game might as well not exist anymore.
Just do it. I think just get it and play it. You'll enjoy it.
Well, because Capcom did a couple of Capcom Directs, and they announced it for the PlayStation 5, and then they kind of sort of secondarily said, "Oh, it's also coming out for the PlayStation 4." I'm not too sure it's out for both of them at the moment. It might be, and I thought that's great. And then I signed up to all the, the same time as this Direct, they just relaunched. They'd merged their portals into this other portal. This is like really painful process to get yourself logged into this new portal to port all your old stuff over from the old port. Like really, really painful. I had to have a laptop and a phone and something else open. And I was like, great. I am in the mood. I'm still in the mood for Resident Evil despite this really painful process. How much is the stupid collector's edition? Capcom have been doing some really silly collector's editions recently, and it was impossible to buy it there and then. And then I just kind of forgot about it, which is so weird. And I've complained about this a lot in the on the blog in the past.
Yeah, I bet you've also complained about it on the podcast as well.
Yeah, but just all this effort that goes into making like a launch event, and it will at least make your own product available. It might just be that we get screwed off. Hey, Dad, stop screwing me off. It may just be that we get screwed off in the UK, and in real countries like Japan and America and the rest of Europe, you can pre-order stuff. Otherwise, it was just go to the Capcom website and look at the special edition, but you're not actually able to do anything with it. And then I missed the window because those things sell out, and that kind of killed all my interest.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyway,
yeah.
No, I'll be taking no further questions on. That's my announcement.
I still think you should get it, and I think you should try and enjoy it at launch. When was the last time you enjoyed a launch Capcom game?
The last Capcom game? No, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis or whatever it was.
Of course. But you enjoyed it. Like, you missed out on Devil May Cry 5 because you're not a fan of it. But there was Resident Evil 2, then it was followed by Devil May Cry 5, then it was followed by Resident Evil 3. It was great. It was a heyday. It was a return of Capcom to form, and you were like cheering their praises.
I was.
Oh, screw off, Farley.
I was singing their praises.
Yes, you were singing their praises, and it was a good time, you know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. I feel like you're deliberately saying I'm not gonna do it because you want somebody to sort of turn around and say do it.
No, don't get me wrong. Much like our previous announcement, the last week's podcast. In fact, even less strict. I will at some point pick it up and play it, but that time is not now.
Yeah.
There's also quite a lot coming out at the moment, and I feel like I don't have mental space for this one.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be a huge game. If you play it in the same way as you played Resident Evil 3, you know, you're going to get 6-ish hours out of it or something like that.
I don't know if it's the same though, because Resident Evil 3 was famously very short.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm comparatively blind about it as well, so I'll probably try and stay blind about it. Like, I've not heard or seen very much about it. I don't even know it's out. Is it even out? I think it's out already, right?
No, I think this is launch week, so maybe at the end of this week or something like that. I'm
okay.
Fucking talking out my arse. I have no idea. If only I had some kind of medium to find out, you know.
So the train either has pulled out of the station or is pulling out of the station, and I'm on the platform.
By the time anyone listens to this,
yeah.
You know,
who knows? Who knows, readers? I might well be playing it as you're listening to this and as it is launched.
Yeah.
At the moment. Nah.
Assuming people are still listening to our podcast in 7 or 8 years' time.
Another bold assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to. The next game I'm looking forward to. We rarely talk about new games. Is new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. We had the chat about it on the last podcast, and I started getting excited about it as well.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I still haven't bought Turrican.
Not even the super collector's edition of stuff you absolutely don't need in your house.
Yeah, absolutely not. I was like slightly, ready to think, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. You know.
Yeah. YOLO. You know.
Yeah, just totally YOLO it. And I was just like, no. Oh, this is great news, guys.
Don't even really like Turrican.
I like Turrican.
Okay, alright.
But I think I like it. It's very rose tinted, you know. And I played through an emulated version of it. And you know, there's a level that's just totally a rip-off of H.R. Geiger, Alien.
No, I know nothing about Turrican.
You know nothing about Turrican?
No.
Is it just me talking about Turrican that made you excited about it, or?
Yeah. I knew you liked Turrican.
Oh.
I know that people generally like Turrican as well. I think it's a very British game to like as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically Mega Man meets what's her face?
Nightbreed?
Samus.
Lara Croft. Who?
Samus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's her goddamn game called? Metroid. There we go. Yeah, it's very Mega Man and Metroid and
Samoid? Oh, what's their name? You know, it's on the Nintendo.
It's on the Nintendo. Right. Yes, and it's good. It's jumpy, shooty, lots of hidden things, lots of power-ups, which make it fun. But yeah, there's a level which is essentially all of the tile textures, because that's how old it is. The tile textures are all just H.R. Geiger's Alien, and so it's all sort of, you know, that creepy look that you would get in Alien films, and also you get eggs with face huggers that chase you around as well. I mean, I feel like the fact that this has been released or re-released could bring up copyright issues with Alien, because I'm pretty sure they did not get the permission to use it in that fashion. Also, it's a really fucking hard game, so I don't know how many people got there, but Billy Big Balls.
You're probably the only one, actually, Richie.
Yeah, probably.
That's why the lawsuit never came up, because it was too hard. They hid it behind the hardness curve, and you're the only one who nonchalantly got there.
Yeah, well, I've got the skills, don't I?
Playing one-handed with a joypad.
Playing one-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Any other announcement from you?
No, that's it for me. You got any announcements this week?
Any announcements this week? I have decided for, and
very rare you follow decide with the word for, so I'm interested already.
Where am I going to take this sentence? I've decided for the Burning Crusade expansion.
Yeah.
That I am giving up my paladin.
You're quitting WoW. Again.
I'm not quitting WoW, but I am giving up maining my paladin.
Well, you heard it here first, listeners. Readers.
Oh, listeners now. Okay.
So you're giving up maining. Are you going to delete your paladin?
No.
Can you delete your paladin?
I could, yes.
I think you should.
Why?
I think we should fundraise for some really worthy cause. And if we get like £8 or something, you would delete your paladin.
£8?
Yeah.
I have actually invested more money into my paladin than £8. It would take a lot more than that.
How much? How much is to delete your paladin for a worthy cause? Like starving children or something.
Like, no, because then it puts the guilt on.
Yeah, because then you're pricing out the starving children.
Yeah, exactly.
£2 million.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to answer that one. I
You told the children to starve.
Yeah.
Is this how the announcement? You thought the announcement was going to be going?
Yeah, no, I feel like no, that's not cool.
Okay, so you're starving children. Anything else to announce? So no, come on, let's go back. Serious. What prompted this decision to quit the paladin? Was it the racist overtones?
It was more the the racist overtones.
No, I'm fine with the racist overtones.
That's fine. That's fine. Like, I'm the person who wants to get all the kids starved in Africa. Yeah. I mean, part of why I chose the paladin for sort of replaying it was I tend to think it's the most iconic class in Classic or Vanilla. I think most of the quests and the way the game unfolds is done in such a way that it's very, very paladin centric, more so than most other classes. And yeah, I just wanted to run through it. I mean, obviously, from a raiding side of view, you're always going to be the person who's healing because you're never going to have a tank, or you don't particularly want Ret in there. But yeah, it's I enjoyed my time with the paladin, but thinking about what I want to do in the Burning Crusade just made me think I don't really want to tank, and I could continue healing, which I actually quite enjoyed. Ret gets a boost, but it's still quite sad. So I was just kind of thinking, what do I want to do? And then I kind of just sort of realised to myself that I've done everything I want to do with the paladin. I got all the tier sets. I got all the best items that I could potentially want. with a couple of exceptions, but that's not too much of a worry to me because I got more than what I expected out of it. But I just decided, like, where do I want to go with this? And it was a hard decision, quite honestly, because I was like debating, the emotional attachment to my character.
How many days is this bouncing around in your head? Well, sussing it out, weighing it up and thinking about it?
Just put it this way, my guildmates were pretty much fed up with my flip-flopping.
You're like, what about this? Oh, I could do this. What about this? Nah, I'm not gonna. Wow, what about?
Pretty much, and there was days when I was like, no, definitely, I'm gonna go into the Burning Crusade with my paladin, and then then I kind of changed my mind, but So what I've decided, I'm not going to be one of these people who is like starting completely from afresh, and in fact, what I have done and did do for whilst I was raid logging. Do you know the concept of raid logging, Farley?
I obviously don't, and nor does anyone listening. So please, is it when you take the laptop to the toilet?
No, it is not. That is a completely different concept, and I wish I was a smarter and more funny, witty man to say something like poop plane.
No, that's just called wow shiting.
Wow shiting. Okay. Raid logging, because of the strength of what is called world buffs, and world buffs are things that pop every so often and give the characters a very, very strong boost, but they only last for a little amount of time. You basically jump on your character, get the buff, and then you immediately log off. So you don't play your character until you go to the raid, which is a bit rubbish.
What? Yeah, carry on.
So basically, you're waiting to play for raid night. Let's say it's every every Tuesday.
You're paying a subscription.
Yeah, to not play it, so that you can play it really well for 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever.
There's geniuses at Blizzard. Oh my god, paying them not to play.
Well,
carry on.
The good news is the world buff meta is completely out for the Burning Crusade. There is no world buffs there anymore. Well, no, but there's no raid logging anymore. You play your character, and in between raid logging, I ended up leveling up an alt, as it's called, an alternative character, and I leveled up a warlock, and I have decided that is going to be my new main character going into the Burning Crusade.
What race is your warlock?
Human.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, the options are human or gnome.
I could see. Have you never rolled a gnome?
No.
I could see you as a gnome.
I mean, you're supposed to choose gnome because they've got a higher intellect and all that sort of stuff. They are the min-maxer's choice, but
true to Richie Headcanon, you want to be sub-optimizing the class from the beginning.
It's the optimization level.
Play against your strengths. Yeah.
Oh my god! No. I've got to find a challenge. I'm Billy Big Balls here.
Yeah. I did all wow. It was too easy when I went with a no more.
Like the difference between it is very, very minimal, and I just also, part of it is like dressing up my character, and I think dressing up a gnome with their weird, tiny, squished up, what's it called, textures, just doesn't look good. So I was always going to choose a human character for that. I yeah, I'm going to be changing classes, and also, as much as I was banging on about the paladin being the what's the word I'm looking for, the most iconic class in classic, I actually think the warlock is the most iconic class in the Burning Crusade. So I don't know, I feel like I'm living the dream a little bit by doing this.
So what is a warlock? Is it like a gay witch? Is it like a mage? But
it's very much like a mage, except it is also a pet class, so it can use demons and minions. More often than not, you actually just sacrifice your demons and minions to give yourself a buff. There are lots of
like a male witch. But you could also be a female warlock, right?
Yeah. Of course, I'm playing a female character. I don't play male characters.
Okay.
We don't.
True.
Yeah. And yeah. So they're quite iconic. They're also the biggest DPS class in the Burning Crusade. There's lots of different flavors for the warlock as well. And I am going. Well, I'm going to go down the destruction path and see if how I feel playing it, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the Burning Crusade.
Exciting times.
Yeah, you're so excited. I can tell tone of your voice. Right.
And I am. These are important decisions that you've been weighing up for a long time.
And I have done. That's the thing. It's like I almost had a spreadsheet at one point of what I would lose on the paladin by moving over. Almost had a spreadsheet.
Almost.
But
no. Well, now you said it on the podcast, so everyone will think you're a doofus if you go back on your word.
Why?
Or if you don't play mostly main or warlock.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely meaning the warlock. That's
mostly.
No, definitely.
Definitely mostly maining a warlock.
I'm meaning a warlock. that is concrete.
But what about when you have to raid log?
There will be no raid logging in the Burning Crusade.
Just wee-wees.
Just Right, let's stop this announcement. This fucking half an hour of announcements in this N64.
Here ends the pre-show announcements. Let's roll into the main
I've got
thing.
one more announcement.
Christ, yes, go on.
I want to just quickly state that this N64 podcast, I think it's going to be split into two.
Okay.
Purely because you talk too much, Farley.
Part 1.
Yeah, part 1, yeah. So
N64
part 1. Right, okay.
Insert
Cartridge 1.
It's a me, Mario. Insert your memory pack.
Insert
now.
Mario in you.
Now.
Right,
Rumble
okay.
pack. Now.
Did you want me to do something?
Yeah, you suggested this episode, so.
Okay, right, okay, shit. So, right.
I've not really played the N64, so it's going to be short.
For fuck's sake. I've really just put you off with talking about World of Warcraft, haven't I? You're not motivated for this podcast anymore.
I've got a list and everything.
You got a list? Okay. Right. I would like, in the vein of our previous podcast, the Amiga memories and the Game Boy memories. What episodes are they, Farley?
Amiga memories was a great time where we talked.
It's also our top episode.
About the Amiga. That was episode 23.
Okay, cool.
And then episode 41 was the Game Boy.
Nice. Cool. And so, this episode I wanted to follow that similar vein and talk about the N64 and its games. So, I wanted to chat with you about your earliest memories of the N64. When did you get one, and what games did you get with it?
Nintendo 64. We got a Nintendo 64, I think, when it came out, but it was my, because there were three of us, and we were roughly the same age, me, my brother, my sister. Things were kind of divided up, so it was initially my sister's when she got the N64. And it came with Mario 64 and GoldenEye. I can't imagine we would have bought either of those, so
Okay.
maybe Mario 64.
So what I remember about the N64, did your sister get it for Christmas?
Maybe, I can't remember exactly when she got it.
So I think the launch of the N64 was around like October, November, and then by Christmas, GoldenEye had come out, and it was the Christmas release for the N64. So that I mean, because that's my memories of it. But yeah, sorry, go on.
And that was very good. But we didn't have many games for it. Is there still? I don't know. We ended up with lots and lots of games for the PlayStation, but the N64 was still kind of like the last of the.
Well, it was
NES and SNES era. So we had a SNES, but I think we had maybe 5 games for it. And we got a few more from the N64. But what I really got interested in it for was Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2.
Oh, yes, of course. And
Yeah.
of course, you could plug the thing into it and actually transfer your red, blue, yellow Pokemon onto Pokemon Stadium.
Yes,
Yeah.
it came with the N64 was quite good. Is it when Nintendo started the ridiculous mountain of plastic rubbish? No, the NES had quite a few plastic
Yeah,
bits and
it did.
pieces that
Yeah,
had one,
and
like Rob
not
the
to
robot,
forget the
whatever.
Nintendo Scope as well for
Yeah.
the SNES.
But yeah, the N64 did come with quite a few. Do you remember there was a microphone that came with? I think it was a Dharma.
Wow,
and there was,
no, I did not.
there was the speaking thing for the Hey You Pikachu. I don't even know if we got that. Then of course there were the memory packs. There was the Rumble packs, which came separately,
Yeah.
and then the Game Boy adapter, which I can't remember if any other game apart from Pokemon Stadium 2 ever used it. And we had 2 copies because I think we bought 1 and 2, and it came with 1 and 2. And there were some things where, you got extra features if you all had your Game Boy
Yep.
plugged in. Ridiculous thing. Yeah. And I remember we played Mario 64, but didn't kind of mega fall in love with it. I have vague memories of it, and I've played it subsequently, and enjoyed it and remembered all the levels. But yeah, it wasn't. I think I've said this before on the podcast as well. I don't know if we romanticize it a little bit, but yeah, it didn't have that big like, wow, this is what 3D graphics are like.
yeah, no. I think, I mean, we touched on it a little bit last week when we were talking about Shadow Man and the polygoniness. you know, there is like, oh my god, it's 3D, and then you're just like, well, yeah. I mean, obviously 3D must be able to get better than this.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Pandemonium?
Or Toshinden.
Battle Arena Toshinden.
It was just like, is this a person or is it a spike? I don't know. Why is he on his tippy toes all the time? What is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff like that. And I mean, you would walk past in arcades things like Virtua Fighter and you'd be like, oh, no way. And then you would play, ported versions of this. But I'm not even going to go down that. Polygons were weird. You knew it when you were playing Mario 64 because everything you did would fucking glitch out at some point. You walk through a door and for some reason your whole world behind you went black, as you would see. Like you would walk up to a wall and you'd be able to see through it, or you'd see like the skeletal face of Mario. And
famously, all the I don't know if you've ever watched the speed runs of Super Mario 64, but some of the exploitation that goes on
I know, it's nuts, man.
is so great. You know, if you face backwards and hop through this wall, you basically fall through the entire world and hit this star on this level. And
you get sucked up the staircase to the very end.
Yeah.
And like, wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. And there's a lot of I think it goes across all the N64 games, right? There's lots of I think Ocarina of Time is equally broken for its absolutely batshit exploits that the speedrunners have uncovered through the ages that just allow you to skip half the game, but because you know,
not even half the game. There's ways for like a young Link to actually get to fight Ganondorf. You know, that's like a 5-minute speed run. You know.
So tell me, you've already mentioned a little bit. What are your first memories of the N64? For me, it doesn't really have the same sense of place as like some of the other console launches do. It's a very strange one. Maybe it's because it wasn't really mine. But yeah, tell me about yours.
Well, just before I jump on that, I actually want to elaborate on a point that you made, which was you didn't have that many games for the N64, but you had loads for the PlayStation. And that's because there was a gated price point. The cartridges were always so fucking expensive. Like, an N64 game was £60 easy. Whereas with the PlayStation, on release, games were maybe £30-40. And then, before you know it, there was a platinum version for $19.99.
Yeah,
you know.
20 quid.
But with N64 games, they never went down in price. They were always that price, you know. It's like there was no cheaper way to manufacture new N64 games. There was, you're getting a cartridge. That is it.
Yeah, and maybe there's also the Nintendo effect going on, where they're very good at making sure that their stuff doesn't instantly devalue.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but at least with things like the publishing of the PlayStation games on CDs and things like that, because you could just use a CD. It just made manufacturing costs so much cheaper. But with a cartridge, you are buying a full fucking chipset, you know, and plugging that in. But yeah, so you were asking about the first memory. So I got my N64 on release, but it was one of these presents that were for me that was kept hidden away until Christmas.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of like, Mum, I want this, you know, and she got me that, but I wasn't getting it till Christmas. However,
did you know you had it?
I knew it was somewhere in the house. I mean, I wasn't like
weird. Why was Father Christmas storing it in your house?
He's not real, Farley.
I said nothing. Carry on.
That's just brutal. Yeah, sorry.
you just sandbagged the podcast with.
Wow. Okay, cool. But you started it. Right, the N64. So yeah, when it came out, I was actually quite privileged, as it were, and I actually got quite a few of the release titles. So yeah, I mean, when I got it, I wanted Mario 64 with it, but there was an issue with that, so I got Pilot Wings, and then I also got, because it was coming up to Christmas, I got GoldenEye as well. So I was really, really spoiled for choice of having Mario 64, because eventually it did come back. There was an issue with shipping or something like that. Then I ended up getting it for Christmas anyway. So I ended up getting Mario 64, GoldenEye, and Pilot Wings on release, which was quite cool. And I mean, considering, you know, I mean, they're not huge games, but they at the time they were like the you know, the games to be playing. You know, versus what was on the PlayStation and stuff like that. but yeah, like I spent a lot of time on those games, and it's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually quite similar to one of the points that you used to make about how you used to treasure games as opposed to just play them. And I think I treasured all of those games to the point where I completed all of those games.
Yeah.
You know, and oh, wait a minute. I just remembered as well. It wasn't just those 3 games. I also got the Shadows of the Empire, the Star Wars game.
Oh yeah.
On release as well. So I had 4 games. Cool. Yeah, lucky boy. And yeah, so I had Shadows of the Empire as well. And yeah, I just spent a lot of time on those games. Mario 64 is a hard game, and as I have mentioned before, the reason it's hard is because of shitty camera angles and very hard jumps. But I did Billy Big Balls it, and I got the 120 stars on it. I have played it many times since and thought, oh, you know what, I could start this afresh and I'll get all 120 stars, and pretty much end up realizing that some of those challenges are just so god awful hard because of the camera angles and things like that. Like for instance, I've played it an emulated version of it, but I've also played the Switch version of it, and you just get to a point where you're like, oh, this is really hard. This is just hard. And the challenge versus the will to play becomes you know what I mean, there's a battle between those two.
Yeah. I don't remember it being that hard to, I mean, I remember the penguin race being quite difficult.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a bitch, but you can cheat it as well. You just, you know, yeah.
And then there were a couple of annoying ones in the ghost house. Some of the ghost house levels, but yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, no, the ghost house was still, that's just down in the basement. Like some of those ones where you have to use the flying is pretty hard, but once you get up to the top floor of the mansion where you get into the other snow world, or when you get into Rainbow Road, or you get into that water world where you actually have to hit the levers to make the world at different water heights in order to make other rooms and things like that appear. It's really, really tough. It's cool, don't get me wrong, I quite like it. But it's always the sand world that kills me. Do you know the one Dry Desert, or is that the name?
Yeah, I mean, just when you say like the sand world, all I can hear is him going.
There's another one, the lava world.
Yeah,
that's so horrible.
You're just bouncing on the and then you bounce again, and you go, oh god.
Yeah, and like, even if you manage to land on a platform, he still does that running.
Yeah,
and he'll inevitably just end up running and falling off the ledge, and like, oh no. But it's a weird level because it's also covered in what's it called? Teleports. So it's like you'll just walk to one corner, like ready for a jump, and then you'll boop, boop, appear on the other side. I don't want to be here. And then, yeah, there's also like, that is another level which has a flying hat on it, or a flying block, which allows you to sort of fly, but you don't. You just know that if you fly, you're just gonna fly for like 3 or 4 seconds and then land in the lava. It's a tough one, and it's hard to sort of keep that motivation going. And then of course there's the ones that are underwater, which are painful to play because you just see him sort of grabbing his throat as he's sort of drowning, and that's brutal, man. Yeah, but yeah, Mario 64. Despite all that, first time through, I did play through everything, and I remember the very last coin that I had to get was an awful coin, which was on Rainbow Road, and it was actually just collecting the 100 coins that were required for getting the final star, because every level you had to get 100 coins. And that was it was brutal, because I think there was something like 101 coins in that entire level
on Rainbow Ride.
Rainbow Ride, yeah, of course, the Magic Harbor ride. The Rainbow Road is the Mario Kart one. Yeah. Rainbow Ride, that final one was it was tough, and quite often that level just met with, I've messed up a jump. Oh, there's me plunging to my death.
So Mario Galaxy 2 has a lot of those. Like once you do a level, there are these things called, I think they're called prankster comets. And they'll either be that you have to do the level with one sliver of life, so you can't take a hit, or you have a time limit and you have to collect X number of coins, and those ones are difficult because you can't miss them, and you've got levels where things are turning or flipping or the screen's pushing you along. I think that's what did me in for trying to 100% Super Mario Galaxy 2 for a long time, is trying to get these prankster comet things.
But did you, how far did you get within the Mario 64? Did you just complete it but it just didn't stick with you, or?
Yeah, I just I think we sort of played it together as a family when we first got it, and then I guess after it's been out for a while, definitely had a concerted let's dig out the N64, and then played through it all again, and then I don't know how, because I don't have it. I must have borrowed it from somebody, but I don't know who I would have borrowed it from. It wasn't you. I played the DS re-release where you could play as Wario.
I never played that one.
Yeah, so I've enjoyed it a number of times, and played it all the way through, getting all the stars and catching that annoying bunny X number of times.
Oh god, that fucking bunny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still running loose in the Switch version at the moment. Incident.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Just fucking. You have to put aside an evening these days to catch bunnies. I really enjoyed it, and a huge amount of just as we've been talking about it, lots of the soundtrack has been kind of running through my mind. Really strong game. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I definitely, I think all of the time spent playing Mario 64, as much as I may have perhaps not enjoyed it as much as I should have, it still is very much gelled in my memory, and it does make me want to play it again, and again for nostalgia's sake. But I think what bothers me is when I go back to it that I'm no better at it. I think all of the achievement that I made in Mario 64 was through luck and persistence.
Yeah.
There was no skill involved there. It was just like, right, okay, I'm just gonna have to do this until I get this jump. Okay, now I'm gonna have to do this until I get this jump, followed by that next jump.
And it was quite forgiving in that respect.
No, it was awful. It was
you couldn't game over.
Yeah, you could.
And be sent back to the beginning. You could just keep throwing yourself at it until you got it.
Well, yeah, you could. You still died, and then you launched the game again, and you had to start from outside the castle, and you had to go back up and climb the stairs and go back to the place where you needed to.
I just think I've died then.
Oh yeah, Billy Big Balls.
I also played it without his hat as well the entire game.
Oh god, that hat, man. I hate that as well. It looks so silly. Oh, as if it doesn't look silly already.
But it does have some. I mean, it introduced some great Mario enemies that we've seen subsequently. So the big swampy guy who would throw his face down at you, the King Bomb Man.
King Bob Man. Are they all enemies some kind of a man?
Pretty much it is Mario. Everything's got a face.
Yeah, that's true. What else did we get from the N64? There's weird ones that I remember. You had the pond skater enemies.
Oh yeah.
And you had the eel as well. I don't know why I'm being drawn to all of the water levels right now. But yeah, also, do you not think the power-ups were kind of half-hearted in Mario 64?
Well, this is it. I don't know if it's again in the vaults of Nintendo. There's a true Mario source book in the same way that there's the same way there isn't a Resident Evil source book or a Pokemon source book. But the 3D ones, I've always played a bit kind of fast and loose with the power-ups. The power-ups are temporary, as you'll know because you've just played through bits of Galaxy. Whereas in the side-scrolling ones, the classic ones, they're more permanent. So you've got
until
the boulder and the bee and the drill and in 64 it's the wing hat. And
the wing hat, the metal Mario, and then the blue phased out Mario, which gets used in I don't know, 3 levels or something.
3 levels, yeah. I don't know. So I don't know if that's part of the playbook. Is we won't build too much around having these specific power ups. I guess here's me just riffing. I'm just riffing, Richie.
All right, riff away.
I guess because in the 3D games, it's far harder to, although I guess you can, it's far harder to kind of channel you in a particular direction, right? Whereas in the 2D ones, it's like, we know that there's going to be, we can give them a power up here and we can give them a power up here. Whereas because it's perhaps
I don't know,
open.
like in the SNES version, you could very much just stop and think, right, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to the top secret area and I'm going to get my mushrooms, I'm going to get the 2 feathers, and then I'll go to Star World 2 and get my blue Yoshi, and then I can continue on. I'm kitted out for this next level. You have that choice. But I don't know, I like the idea of the permanency of some of those, especially the ones you used to get in Mario 3, like the Tanuki suit and
the frog suit, which, in my experience, despite attempts to keep it, was always lost within.
Oh yeah. I mean,
to make this particular underwater level easier.
It is the most heartbreaking thing in the world. It's just
you have to work so hard or be lucky to get one.
Or you would get one from one of the mushroom houses on the map, and you would choose it. You're like, right, okay, I'm going into a flying level. I'm going to use my Tanuki suit so that I can do this. And then, you use it, and then almost instantly you just hear that as the suit just flies away.
Yeah.
And
but then again, so I guess with the 3D games, kind of just be broken if you get all the way through the level. It's like, no, you just can't progress here because you don't have the power up, which is why they dish them out so locally, I guess.
Yeah.
Certainly thinking about Galaxy. But yeah, you're right. It is. They do feel slightly weaker. What's it like with Odyssey? Is it the same? I guess you've got the whole hat mechanic.
Well, yeah, no, it's completely different with Odyssey because you have this hat, and depending on how you use it, you can you can do some really fucking crazy skilled up jumps with it.
I've seen people go from one side of a level to another side without ever touching the bottom.
Once you practice that jump, it's dead easy, and you can replicate it and do it over and over. And it's so cool, you could just jump on that hot hat and just get the timing and keep on going. But the main feature of the hat is, of course, that you can take over other what's it called? Other objects and other enemies and make them you.
Yeah.
So you then control them. So like famously, obviously, there's the dinosaur in the first level where you just take him over. He gets a moustache. You can then sort of control and do things and open things up. With Odyssey, that permanency exists until pretty much you don't want to be controlling that thing anymore. And the levels are decided.
This is the, that was the clever design solution around the what do we do? We've got an open game, and if people lose their power-ups and they can't progress, it's annoying to have to backtrack to find it.
Yeah.
Let's make everything a power-up.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm in the mind of Miyamoto right now, Richie. I am him.
Power-ups everywhere. PowerPoint everywhere. Fucking hell. Oh, God.
There's a Microsoft Office Mario collaboration.
Yeah, the fucking paperclip. You fling the hat at the paperclip and it becomes Mario. Oh, God. What a weird mashup, Richie. Yeah. And that's Mario.
Let's talk quickly about the real tea.
Yes. Which you've forgotten.
Forgotten the name.
The name.
Power Wings. What's it called?
Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings.
64.
Oh, man. Yeah, you kept whinging on about Mario. I was just itching to talk about Pilot Wings so much that it popped out of my head. It's the only Pilot Wings I've not played. I've played all the other ones, and I love Pilot Wings so hard.
Wow, it is. So I am the fucking yin to your yang. It's the only Pilot Wings that I have played.
Between us, we have played all the Pilot Wings.
Oh dear. Well, actually, no, I briefly borrowed Pilot Wings on the SNES and hated it. I didn't like it.
No, it's the best one.
Really?
And the 3DS one's also very good.
Yeah, okay. Well, Pilot Wings, again, the only thing I can say about it is it's a fucking hard game.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's not ADHD friendly as well. Because there's so much to see on that island, or those islands, that you spend your time just trying to find the secrets. Or
that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, it's like as soon as you were able to get that infinite jetpack, you could sort of float around and you could find all these hidden things. You could find that secret picture of like Mario, or go and find, the N64 castle from Mario 64, and you're just like, the N64 castle. The N64 castle. Fucking hell, Richie. But going to find all of these secrets just became so much fun. But in order for you to get that infinite jetpack, it was the most grueling, horrible boot camp ever. You needed to 3-star everything.
That's what Pilot Wings is about. It's about harsh judgment. The SNES version is, it is just brutal,
And again, like what I was saying about what made Mario hard was like, all right, I've just got to perfect this jump and jump to the next jump. Oh, I've died again. Now I need to get that perfect jump again and that other perfect jump. You had to do so much perfectly in Pilot Wings. Like, you had to be able to get that rising wind on the hand glider then make it perfectly through that loop and then get to the next rising tube, which you didn't know where it was, or you had to sort of blindly turn to,
Yeah.
you know, in the hope that you were in the right direction.
Or in order to find the 19th gust of wind,
and then
you have to have tried the level 18 times, right?
No, but the worst part was, even if you managed to actually do that so well and you're like, I'm on track, you then have to land the fucking thing.
Okay.
And you get rated on your landing as well. So you can perfect everything. And then you can maybe just go off a little bit to the left when you land. And then you've got like 99. And you're like, oh, I've got 2 stars for this fucking level.
Yeah.
You know.
That is the true spirit of Pilot Wings is just fucking up the landing. Or you know, just everything being perfect. You know, yeah, I'm level. For the ones that have the fuel, I've got enough fuel to do it, and then just coming in and be like, oh no, I fucked it. This is not, you know, not a good
like
landing.
You know, it's like, oh, this is not going to be a good landing. But I'm still going to try just in case, you know?
Just in case I can pull it off. I'm kind of approaching it at like a weird angle, and I know I'm not flat.
Oh, no,
I
whenever you sort of actually pull the full analog stick all the way over to the other side to try and correct something, you know you fucked up regardless.
Because then you've overcompensated, and I'm not getting, you know, your wheels are like parallel to the ground, and you've got meters before, you know, you hit the runway. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh god, and it is so harsh. But then again, like, even if you didn't get the 3-star jetpack, you would still piss about with your jetpack, and you would go around and you would try and find these secrets, because you could take pictures as well. You know, yeah, you could take pictures, and you could like take pictures of things that you found, and as long as you landed somewhere sensible, I think you could save it. I actually can't remember. I think as long I'm also remembering how you died when you were the jetpack, because you're just this 3D person, this very ugly looking 3D person. Again, polygon fever going on here. And if you accidentally like hit the side of a mountain or something like that, your character like wouldn't flail or have any ragdoll. He would just solidly just sort of tumble around, you know, with his legs still stretched out, hitting things as he would fall down. You're like, and they all had their piercing screams as well. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that character select screen is ugly.
yeah. But I mean, the island's probably ugly as fuck as well. But in my rose-tinted memories, it's the most beautiful, wonderful place, full of secrets to be. You know.
Well, I think I could be completely making it up, but that was the original inspiration for the Woohoo Island. And at some point, we should definitely do a podcast on the Woohoo Island games, because I think all of them.
Yeah. I feel like we've made this promise before.
You might have done, but I don't know if you made it on the podcast. Much like your promise to mostly main and Warlock, where it's become real on the podcast.
Not mostly, it is.
Mostly main and Warlock. Yeah, because Woohoo Island also had that same, you know, even with like Wii Sports Resort, when you're playing the archery game to have a look around and you see this or find that, or on Wii Fit when you're running around. And it's very obviously kind of related to Pilot Wings, and in fact the DS Pilot Wings. You fly around Woohoo Island.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Right.
Is that the end of part 1?
I think this is a fair place to end our N64 part 1 on 69 minutes. Nice.
It should have been 64. We should have cut 5 minutes from the podcast somewhere.
I mean, what could we cut? I mean, I did talk about WoW for a long time. How about I condense it so that we're just speaking ever so slightly more high pitched?
Yeah, but like speed it up incrementally as well. So don't just slow the.
Do you know
entire
what slowed it
podcast
down, Farley? Our
What's that?
chilled out intro.
Ah, damn it! Chilled out intro would have been perfect 64 for Nintendo 64 Part 1. Coming up next on Nintendo 64 Part 2, we'll be talking about
Shadows of the Empire.
probably Zelda, Shadows of the Empire,
Yeah,
definitely
GoldenEye.
Pokemon, Perfect Dark, Turok,
Oh yeah, of course, Turok. Cerebral Bore.
Pokemon Snap.
We talked about Pokemon Snap. People don't need to know more about it, do they?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the most obscure N64 title you owned?
Well, spoilers, the next episode. I have ended up with a couple of Nintendo 64 games. I've got no idea why I have them. One of which is Premier League 64.
Premier Manager
Premier
64.
Manager 64.
Yeah.
Never touched it. Mission Impossible,
Oh, yeah.
which I don't think was awful, but it was kind of something between Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. And the Castlevania 64.
Ah, okay.
No
That's
idea. how I ended
special.
up with those. Two copies of Pokemon Stadium.
Of course. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What
I
about
mean,
you? What was your obscurest, Paul?
I mean, I played quite a few of the weird ones. I remember Wave Race 64.
Isn't that like the second best selling Nintendo 64
Is it?
game? Yeah, I don't think it was that obscure. I think I remember that being quite big.
I hated it, like, as a game. But mind you, I probably just chose not to like it because, oh god, I've got to complete Mario 64, Shadows of the Empire, and all of these other games that I got for Christmas. There is a little known game which you may or may not have heard of called Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
I was about to ask the 3 Mortal Kombat games on the N64.
I didn't play. Oh, was that was Mortal Kombat 4 time, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and then Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero.
Oh, no, we don't talk about mythologies. They were terrible games.
And looking at this SKUs. Oh, none of those came out in Japan. Interesting.
Oh. Okay. Well, anyway, let's save that for next.
Oh, I think we've already done it. That's it.
Nah. We were going to talk about it in more detail. More meaty detail. 'Cause I want to know more things. But yeah. That guy's a maniac, Farley.
Why'd he bite me?